Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are wrapping up Week 7 in the NFL right now, talking with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. He covers a big selection of games each week that I asked him to take, and right now we're going to take a look at Cleveland, Jacksonville. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
All right, thank you, Peter.
All right, before we get your opinion on this game, just quickly tell us what's going on at OffshoreInsiders.com right now, the heart of the football season.
Yeah, no, one of the reasons I love doing so much videos with you is because this is my full-time job, and I'm looking at all the games. Anyway, been doing this for 27 years. Nice NFL weekend, 4-0 with spread games. We did lose a total and then a money line, which was juice-free, was an underdog, so 4-2 overall. Pretty typical of what we've been doing for 27 years, and then now at OffshoreInsiders.com. But I go back to those score phone days, folks.
Jacksonville right now is a 5.5-point home underdog. The opening line was 4, and I admit that I betted a bit at 4, thinking that might be a good bet there. And now it's up to 5.5, and the Jags, they're getting competitive, right? They almost got a cover against Pitt, and then last week, they outgained the Titans, and they lost the game, but they did get the cover. Cleveland, very impressive win against Pitt last week, but they are now suffering a few injuries. And, Cleveland minus 5.5 on the road. The question is just how legitimately competitive is Jacksonville getting? And if they are pretty decent right now, that can hang in games unless they're facing an elite team, I think maybe you like Jacksonville plus 5.5, unless maybe you consider Cleveland an elite team right now. I don't know. I'm thinking Jacksonville plus 5.5 is the side. What do you think, Joe?
No, we definitely agree there. Jacksonville is a team that at least does have an upside. It's not like they have any hope. Blake Bortles both gives them a tangible improvement. I mean, this guy is an athlete. He is a big upgrade. Plus, the fact that he is a rookie gives them hope for the future. Jacksonville, really the last 2 years, they've been banged up at wide receiver and some suspensions as well. Finally getting a little bit of stability at wide receiver, so Bortles is going to have some targets. Now, it's true as far as the running game, maybe they're getting a little more injuries there. But no, I look for Bortles to continue to be on the upside. Again, Hoyer has been tremendous for Cleveland. We rode him last year. Really, I didn't so much ride him as I did ride any quarterback whose name wasn't Brandon Weeden. But that was last year. We had a lot of success. But no, he's a legitimate quarterback. But one of our golden rules of handicapping applies here, where I always say it's easier to be the hunter than the hunted. And now we're seeing, look, the odds makers are telling you now the expectations are a little bit higher for Hoyer. So let's see how he can do with higher expectations. This is also a good performance gap analysis pick, and essentially, at least is relevant here. Performance gap analysis is somewhat complicated, but we came up with it, and we've tested it on the computer, and it's proven correct. But part of it is turnovers and yards per point. They're efficiency statistics, and teams that are bad at those, because they're more about efficiency than skill, they have a little bit more of an upside than teams that are bad in, like, for example, yards per rush or yards per play, where that measures a lack of skill. And teams that have a turnover rate of -6 or worse for the year, now that's for the full year, and if they allow 15.4 or fewer yards per point, they're 1,169 and 975 against the spread with 45 pushes. Now, I did the math for you. That is literally 194 games above 500 against the spread. 194 games above 500. And for mathematicians out there, that comes out to a Z-score of 4.15, which is substantially, very statistically significant. So, I think Jacksonville, both because they are a legitimate team on the upside with Blake Bortles, with a little healthier receiver, and my performance gap analysis, which has won you and me a lot of money over the years, and we continue to refine it. That also points toward Jacksonville, so probably be a premium play.
Look at that Z-score. I never heard you use that term before, Joe Duffy. I didn't know you knew. I didn't know you knew nothing about that Z-score stuff, Joe.
Well, I actually learned about it more so in handicapping than I did paying attention in school. If you look up a guy by the name of Dr. Mike Orkin, years ago, he wrote fantastic. He was the first person to have software that really helped in gambling, and I really was able to apply Z-score back when his program first came out in about 1990, I think. So I've been using Z-score for a long time.
Okay, excuse me, Mr. Joe Duffy, Esquire. All right, well then, what do you make of the line movement then? I mean, maybe if it opened at 4 and the public was betting Cleveland and it was holding steady at 4, especially if it maybe took a dip down to 3.5, then I think, all right, Jacksonville, that's the side we're going to be betting here. But pretty telling line movement maybe on Cleveland all the way up to 5.5.
Yeah, but remember the story that I always tell you, in all the years I've been betting and handicapping games, when I talk to a public type guy, just a friend who maybe bets $25 a game who likes to play football pools, he always says, oh man, there are a couple games I absolutely love this weekend. I can't believe the line. And I interrupt him, and what do I say? Which road favorites are it that you love in the NFL this weekend? And they're like, how did you know? So, yeah, the public loves betting road favorites. So, no, I don't think there's really any sharp movement there.
All right, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe Brent from BetDSI will be able to tell me something about sharp action on this game later on in the week. All right, Joe Duffy, in Jacksonville, plus 5.5. Thanks, Joe.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.